तर एकच मिनिट हा, झालंय होते. ओके सर, थँक्यू.
हा, पण आता सर ते पुन्हा माझं स्क्रीन गायब झालं की.
नाही आम्हाला दिसतंय सर, आम्हाला दिसतंय.
तर तुम्हाला दिसतं आहे, पण माझा प्रॉब्लेम आहे ते मला दिसायला पाहिजे ना.
काही दाबण्यात आलं का तुमच्याकडून बटन काही?
एक एक
मग जसं केलं होतं त्याच पद्धतीनं पुन्हा करा.
हा, बाहेर पडा सर, बाहेर पडा.
बाहेर पडा आणि म्हणजे स्टॉप शेअर मध्ये म्हणतो
हा,
एकदा.
स्टॉप करून.
ओके, तेही होत नाहीये.
Dear participant, due to technical error, it's getting late. Sorry for that, but we'll back soon.
सर स्क्रीन दिसते तुमची.
देशमुख सर, सरांना को होस्ट करावं, मला आणि सरांना.
सर काय अडचण आली का आता?
जाधव सर. येस. जाधव सर, माझा आवाज येतोय? सरांचा आवाज येत नाही आपल्यापर्यंत. सर बोलतायत.
हा वाघ सर, काय काय प्रॉब्लेम आला का त्यांना?
सरांचा आवाज नाही येत आपल्यापर्यंत.
एकदा कॉल करून बघा ना त्यांना, काय अडचण नाही.
जाधव सर, कदाचित आपल्या हेडफोन मध्ये प्रॉब्लेम आहे काहीतरी, म्हणजे परत काढून लावा एकदा. देशमुख सर, आपण सरांची पीपीटी आपल्याकडे घेऊ आणि इथून शेअर करू.
चालेल चालेल, काय काय मग तुमच्याकडे घ्या.
सगळ्या अडचणी सॉल्व्ह होतील. जसं म्हणता येईल
हो.
आपल्याला त्यांचं ते त्यांच्या
चालेल.
देशाप्रमाणे फॉरवर्ड
चालेल.
करता
चालेल.
येईल. सर, तुम्ही पीपीटी शेअर करा आम्हाला. व्हॉट्सअपला केली तरी चालेल, मेल केला तरी चालेल.
वाघ सर, माझा आवाज येतोय का आता?
हो सर, येतोय sir.
सर
Alright.
येतोय आता आवाज तुमचा.
हा, आणि मी तुम्हाला पीपीटी पण पाठवलेली आहे.
ओके ओके, लगेच शेअर कर.
जी जी जी, आय एम सॉरी ऑन माय पार्ट.
व्हिडिओ बंद आहे सर तुमचा.
हा हा, व्हिडिओ बंद होता सर, अगदी बरोबर आहे. जी. डन सर, मला दिसतं आहे आणि आपण सुरू करा.
काही अडचण नाही.
नाही नाही, ओके, परफेक्टली ऑल राईट फॉर मी.
आणि इकडले पार्टिसिपंट वगैरे दिसत आहेत.
हा ठीक आहे सर, इट्स ओके या. हा हा.
I again welcome to all for the today's third session, that is academic writing. For this, we are truly fortunate that we have with us Professor Dr. Jagdish Jadhav sir, Professor, Department of Social Work, Suraj Dean, School of Social Sciences, Central University of Rajasthan. Sir, I warmly welcome and request to Dr. U.S. Bankar sir to introduce sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, one of the great personality is among us, and I am very happy to introduce him. Uh, Professor Jadhav, sir, is in social work teaching since March 2000 and having a unique contribution of teaching, research, creative writing, and administration, natural resource management, indigenous social work education and practices, social advocacy, development practices, and NT-DNT communities are the area of his academic interest. He started his academic career from Walchand College of Arts and Science, Solapur. Then he worked in Bharati Vidyapit, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, CSRD Ahmednagar, and now he presently working in the Department of Social Work, Central University of Rajasthan. He published 10 books like निळे आकाश गोष्टी उद्योग जगताच्या, social work education practice and scope, water equity and community development, unique people, different path, and so on. He also published various research articles, more than 25 research articles in journals and international and national reports. He is a social commentator on various social political issues, and still, so far, more than 300 popular articles have been published in leading newspapers. Sir, also associate editor of Indian Journal of Democratic Governance. He is also editor board member of South Asian Journal of Participatory Development, and he is the member of Central Employment Guarantee Council under the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. So, I request to Jadhav sir, please enlighten us by your thoughts. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bankar sir.
yeah. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Principal Sir. Thank you, Bankar Sir, and distinguished August gathering. I have been asked by the organizer to present my views on the academic writing. And being an academician, okay, we are having only two options, either to produce or either to perish, or either to publish or either to perish. So publication is a very pivotal part of our academic life. It may be research article, it may be a book, it may be a monograph, or any kinds of, it may be a feature, it may be a popular writing, it may be a scientific writing. So being an academic community, our day-to-day connection is always with, reading, writing, research, and producing some kinds of academic work. The purpose of all kinds of the academic writing is always to add the value in existing knowledge body. So that is the prime objective. As this is the research methodology workshop and probably today is the second day of workshop, I simply wish to take a quick review of whatever happened yesterday. Next slide, sir, please. Bankar sir, next slide, please. Yeah. So probably yesterday you people might have talked about the conceptualization of the research, that how to define research problem, or how to arrive on a conclusion that this is going to be my research beginning. And for defining a research problem, the second important step, that is the review of literature. And broadly, review of literature is categorized in two categories. One is reviewing a different concept and a different theory, if you are in conceptual research or if you are in a sociological research or anthropological research. And in order to beginning our research, it is the job of the researcher to, review the existing research article or existing body of literature. So based on formulating the problem, then we jump into the third stage of the research, that is the formulation of the hypothesis. So formulation of the hypothesis is very essentially needed in particularly in um, quantitative research, where we calling as a positivist approach. Then furthermore, journey is basically designing the research, designing the sample, and it has a connection with the method of the data collection. Method of data collection is having, connection with the appropriate selections of the tools and collecting the data from either primary sources or the secondary sources. Then putting the data at one particular place, either to computing it manually, or nowadays people are working on Excel, people are working on SPSS, and there are various new gadgets are available for analyzing the data. So analyzing the data is helping all of us, to testing the hypothesis, interpreting the data, and producing our report. So I do believe that yesterday you all people might have discussed this issue at the beginning of research. Now today, although I'm going to provide you a broad framework of the academic writing, there are certain do's and there are certain don'ts. Okay, as an academician, as a researcher, as a freelance journalist, or as a freelance writer. So I'm going to put you, a certain glimpses for which there are chances you all people might have already familiarized with you. Next slide, sir, please. Yeah. So after the recap, of the yesterday's session, what are the sources of the problem? Before we are arriving on a conclusion that this is going to be my tentative, prospective writing part, or the prospective my research title, very often we draw the inspiration. One is from our own reading. Second is, our academic experience, and majority of the gathering is from the social work background. Our academic experiences comes from, our field work, our interaction with the subject expert, our consultative meeting, then our connections with the different policy makers. Sometimes, we media is a very influential tool in collecting or gathering our attention. our day-to-day experiences that happening, with our day-to-day life, our exposure to field situation as a part of concurrent field work, block field work, or whatever the type of the field work we people are undertaking it. Our consultative meetings are that happening within our vicinities. The brainstorming session that normally took place, in our staff council and other. Our existing research might be, providing us the insight or providing us a direction for furthermore deepen research. And many of the time, all these kinds of our reading, academic experiences, our consultative twinkle को बोलेंगे इस करने के लिए, okay, and the intuitions that we are getting. So for all these kinds of, identifying sources for the problem, there are two criteria for selecting our academic topic as a part of academic writing or as a research. Number one is researcher own interest. If suppose, I'm very, as Bankar sir has introduced me, that I have a keen interest in researching in nomadic issues or issues related to water or issues related to gender. So the researcher interest matters a lot. So, but that interest need to be, matched with the competencies. If suppose I am a fond of undertaking a case study method, or I am a fond of writing a book, or I am a fond of, publishing research article. So I need to have appropriate competency of that one particular research. If I'm good in basically, in central tendencies, or I'm good in quantitative research, then I should have the competency in that particular area. But if I'm fond of, writing a case studies, writing the stories, writing, the monograph or something which is descriptive in nature, then I should develop my competency in a qualitative research. But nowadays, many of the people, they are pursuing the research by deploying the mixed method research. And for a social science research community, I would strongly advocate that we should go ahead with the mixed method research approach. While advocating the mixed method research approach, I am not undermining the importance of quantitative research or the qualitative research. Many of the time, as I am having the familiarities or I am having the competency in one particular area, we should not go with that. What kinds of the type of the research is demanded by my research topic, we should go with that. Then secondly, what is the availability, of the resources, then finance and the time. These things, matter to us for our academic writing. If suppose I am a PhD scholar, then my time framework is a 3 to 5 years. So whatever, that availability of the time, availability of the finance, availability of the resources, then what are my individual and my institutional priorities. So these are the certain internal and our personal criteria that motivating us basically to adopt the appropriate research topic and different types of the academic writing. There are some external criteria. The external criteria is that the researchability, of the problem. The researchability of the problem is that sometimes there are certain research topics which are delicate in nature, which are unknown to people. For example, day before yesterday, okay, the new viruses now has come at the doorstep to India. But now that problem is not the researchable because we don't know its severity, we don't know its complications, we don't know what exactly is that. So at present, that particular problem or particular phenomena is not the researchable. But, we have underwent with the phase of the corona and our life, have been greatly impacted by the novel corona virus. And of course, we were under the shadow of that virus for particularly more than 2 years. So whatever, the impact of that particular problem, that can be the issue of the research. Then it's important, its urgency, its novelty of the problem, its feasibility, then what kinds of the facilities is available to us, then its usefulness, its social relevance, its availability of supportive staff. So these all kinds of, external factors are also helping us. So here I am making a difference before our academic gathering, because as we people are from the different, walks of the life. certain people, they might be a senior professor. Some people may be, the mid-level teaching professionals like the young assistant professor or aspirant associate professor, or people, those who would like to be of the positions of the professor. So what kinds of the academic writing, it is going to option before them. But if you are a young researcher, then your priorities and different kinds of the resource availability and the time availability, that is something different. So it is not basically, if my guide is doing one type of a research, I should follow that. If my guide is engaged in one particular type of writing, I should follow that. We all people are following the principle of individuality. We all people are unique. Okay. Our aspirations are different. Our needs are different. Our priorities are different. Our capabilities are different. Our competencies, that is different. Our institutions are different. Our geographical locations are different. So understanding all these kinds of the different criteria, we should, go for selecting of the appropriate academic writing part or the appropriate, research part. I do hope, these kinds of the broad classification of the source of the problem and the criteria for selection is going to make sense to you. Now let us move on. Bankar sir, next slide, please. Yeah, click it, for 2, 3, 4 marks. Last word is the intuition. Okay, here I wish to, talk about the qualities of the good research. Yeah, previously, yeah. So basically, these are the 6 things that whether you are a young researcher or whether you are a seasoned researcher, whether you are a senior academician or whether you are a young academician or young researcher, we should keep in our mind that these 6 things are, identified the various authors, that these are the qualities of the good research. Number 1 is the systematic. We all people need to be systematic in approach. Okay, it means that if research begins with the conceptualization and if research is ending with the good academic writing, so that systematic, a methodological orientation, theoretical orientation, appropriateness of the method, okay, soundness of the data, technicality in presenting the data. So all these kinds of the systematic approach need to be adopted by a good researcher. Okay. And let me quote here the example from our kitchen. Okay. My mother, are very systematic in her kitchen affairs. She knows where to, she has put the all things, where the sugar is, where the tea powder is, where, utensils are. So all the Indians women, okay, they are very, very systematic in arranging their kitchen. Okay. So if you look at the life of the Indian women, okay, how they systematic, in arranging their kitchen, okay, or in arranging their food storehouse in the same order as a researcher, okay, my laptop need to be arranged, how to store the information at one particular place, okay, that need to be arranged. So my temperament, my lifestyle, okay, my emotional health, my physical health, my mental health, okay, these are all the certain things, okay, that we never discuss, okay, and we never talk with each other, but that falls under the quality of the good researcher. Okay. As being a Marathi speaking person, okay, my teacher used to say that, that early to bed and early to rise make us healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, that is a say in English. Okay, but sometimes, as a researcher, okay, I'm very much comfortable, okay, working in a late life. Sometimes, some researchers are, very much preferred, okay, to work in a morning hours. So here, what are the basically the more productive hours, that is not the issue. But how systematic we people we are, okay, in giving us a final productive work, that matters. Then researchers need to be, a logical. Okay, so many of the time our research questions sounds okay that these are the quantitative question, measurable question, but we are adopting the, the method as a qualitative method. And sometimes we are talking about the semi-structured interview schedule, which is, the features or which is the characteristics of the mixed method research. So, things are going in a different direction. We are talking about qualitative research. We are using a tool from the mixed method research, but we are writing about the quantitative research. So it is not logical thing. Okay. So from research beginning to research end, we all people need to be as systematic and logical also. Empirical things are needed. Empirical means what? Whatever we people are doing, that is the field based. That should be the tested. That should be the empirical. Okay. So, uh, as there is very famous share by Nida Fazli that कभी कभी यूं ही हमने अपने दिल को बहलाया है, जो बात खुद नहीं समझे वो औरों को समझाया है. Okay. So it should not be job of the researcher. The things I don't understand or the things I don't realize, the things basically I never realize, okay, we should not go or we should not make as a part of our writing. So we need to be empirical. The one of the good quality of the good research is, is the replicability. Okay, suppose whatever the good things, okay, that take place, suppose if your district is a Jalna or your district is a Yavatmal, it should, motivate me to replicate in, the Rajasthan state, or it should motivate me to replicate, okay, in Ajmer and Jaipur. Okay, so motivating, other research community for the replicability of that one kind of the researcher with different universities, with different sampling fund work. So that replicability is a good quality of a good research. Then now we are, we are the 21st century people. We are in the 2024. So creativity and innovation, okay, that is also, we all people need to be innovative. We all people need to be creative in putting our thing before the different kinds of the audience. So that creativity is also very much demanded, and that is the quality of a good researcher. And finally, we should have, equal command over the different methods of research. Okay, nowadays it is a quality that using a multiple method in a research, it is a very, very welcome phenomena. So while talking about, the different things about the technicality, okay, I emphasize much more on the skill part, on the, the technicality or the quality part or the individual characteristics. I do hope that, this your own insight or your attention, okay, should be focused on these kinds of the quality, and that will motivate you to be determined furthermore for adopting a good research and producing a good quality work. Next slide, sir, please. It would be the principle. Yeah. Now, before I come up, on a different inviting a question from you people, let me talk about, a certain principles of the scientific method. And there would not be differences in our opinion that, that objectivity is the basic principle of all kinds of the scientific method. So objective means what? We should be away from all kinds of the subjective biases. Many of the time, as an investigator, if suppose, being a classical representation of the patriarchal society, okay, if I am having a certain notion about a particular gender, okay, it means that I am putting my subjective views. So definitely I will be away from the objectivity. So we all people need to be, required, ethical neutrality in our mind. So we should not be under the influences of any kinds of the biases, any kinds of the prejudices, any kinds of the preoccupied opinion. We should not be, carried away, or we should not be moved, with our preconceived ideas. So all these kinds of, things are not welcome, or things are not acceptable in the life of the researcher. So objectivity is very much accepted principle as a scientific method as a research. Then, we all people need to be to focus on empiricism. Okay, that is a factual evidence. It means that we should not compromise with our actual field work or about the field-based study. So it means that, we should not do a pilot study with the 10 people, okay, and we should not sit on any hotel or any tea stall, and we should not duplicate the data. That is not, welcome in research. So as a principle of scientific method, our investigation must be conducted very, very, very much empirically. Then, we need to understand that, there is a relativism, but it means that, no truth is the absolute truth. Okay, in Marathi, we are having the famous poet, okay, and he's a विंदा करंदीकर. विंदा करंदीकर says that, okay, ये विश्व का आकार कितना है? तो विश्व का आकार मतलब अपने सर इतना है. So whatever the things, I can visualize, I can imagine, okay, I can produce, okay, something like that. So there is absolutely relativism, and our views are our social reality, okay, but that is not the absolute reality. So we all people always need to be very much welcome for all this. Ethical neutrality, I always talk, okay, and the simplicity and other things. So I wish that you people are already familiar, all these kinds of the principle of the scientific method. Next, sir, please. Yeah, yeah. Here, this slide basically, is for appealing to all of you that how one should, look at the research. See, many of the time, okay, we academic people, we are having some kinds of the fear of these kinds of the different jugglery word. Okay, so whenever we talk about the paradigm, ontology, epistemology, theoretical perspective, okay, our mind get disturbed that what is this new or what is this, new phenomena. It is not like that. Let us talk about the positivism. Okay, see, positivism basically is the one paradigm is a research, okay, and this says that, there is one single reality. It is like the mathematical. Okay, 2 plus 2, okay, is always equal to 4. But again, as we have the social sciences, and again, our Nida Fazli, say that, दो और दो का मेल चार कहाँ पर होता है समझदारों को थोड़ी सी नादानी दे मौला. Okay, so 2 plus 2, okay, can happen for, okay, in a mathematics, but in a sociology, 2 plus 2, okay, can produce the one more, 4 children, and 2 plus 2, okay, can be 8, okay, can be 6, can be 12. Okay, so although positivism, okay, is talk about the basically intervention research, okay, it is about the positivism, it is all about the basically experimental research, okay, but we all social science community, okay, we all people need to understand that what is the positivism. So this slide, okay, is talking about there has to be a connection, okay, with the paradigm, with the ontology, with the epistemology, with the theoretical perspective, and with the methodology. And I wish to take, a little 2-3 minutes extra in order to explain. Suppose positivism, okay, is the one paradigm in a research, then it is the job of the researcher or it is the job of the academic community to understand what is reality. So understanding what is reality, it is called as a ontology in a research. And how can I know the reality? It is basically a epistemology. It means that, how I am going to, validate my tool. Then there will be a face validity. Then there will be a content validity. Then there will be a piloting of the research. Okay, this come under the epistemological part. And basically, what approach I'm going to understand, okay, knowing the reality, it is called as the theoretical perspective. And that is why, all the intervention research, okay, it come under the positivist approach. And that is why the experimental research or the survey research or the action research or basically, field-based research, okay, that come under the methodological part. Then what method, we adopted in positivist approach? Then we approach a quantitative, that is a measurement, scaling, statistical analysis, questionnaire, focus group, and, interview, something like that. So here in this slide, you will, find out that there is a connection between the method, methodology, theoretical perspective, epistemology, ontology, and the paradigm, okay, for which I am calling, as a scientific method. So if my writing, okay, or if my research, if it is following, the positivism as a paradigm, then my method and my methodology, okay, should go hand in hand. Something, again, it is suppose the constructivist paradigm, which is also called as an interpretive paradigm. Its ontology is that, there is no single reality. हर आदमी का सच अपना अलग-अलग होता है. Then how the epistemology will come, okay, that how we are discovering the reality, okay, and how we are exploring the new things. So now understanding, exploring the new things, okay, and the word exploration itself, is giving us an idea, okay, that this is an interpretivism. So there is a phenomenology, okay, there is a symbological, intersectionality. This is a critical inquiry, this is something, close to the feminism and this kinds of that. So obviously this will, go towards, a qualitative research. So in qualitative research, we will adopt, the ethnography, grounded theory, phenomenological research, okay, action research, discourse analysis, okay, then feminist standpoint, research something like that. And obviously, it will adopt, narrative analysis, it will adopt, the case study method, it will adopt, the sketching life history, something observation, qualitative interview, like that. So I do hope that, this is making sense to you, okay, that what is to be called as a positivism, what is to be called as a constructivism, okay, and there are different kinds of the paradigm, okay, which are addressing the issues, okay, which are the basically quantitative research, qualitative research, mixed method research, okay, longitudinal studies. So here my appeal to the today's research gathering is that before undertaking any kinds of the research, as a part of PhD program or as a part of long time research, we all people must have this kinds of theoretical orientation or theoretical understanding. Next slide, sir. Bankar sir, please. Next, please. Yeah. So here again, I tried, to develop the connection between the ontology, epistemology, methodology, method and the sources. And there has to be, the interrelationship, or the interconnectedness. Okay. Let us take the example, of our traditional food offering method, as majority of the participants, okay, either they are from Khandesh region or either they are from Vidarbha or either they are from Marathwada region. Okay. The all Indian, the food offering system, okay, they are having a clear-cut science. Okay. Normally, in Indian traditional families, okay, we always keep, the salt as the left side. हम जब भी खाना खाने के लिए बैठते हैं ना, तो भारतीय परंपरा में नमक जो होता है वो बाएं बाजू में रखा जाता है, बिकॉज nowadays we are talking about that, hypertension people should not take much more salt, or they should not, go with the additive salt. Okay. So the Indian traditional systems are warning us कि आचार जो होता है या नमक जो होता है या पापड़ जो होता है, सारी तली हुई चीजें है या सारी जो चीजें जो पेशेंट को और बीमार बना सकती है, वो प्लेट के बाएं बाजू में होना चाहिए. And the things basically like the salad, okay, and like the healthy food has to keep on the right side. So you understand, how the traditional Indian fooding system, okay, is being arranged in one particular plate, not a platter. Okay. So that is a beautiful way, okay, to understand basically ontology, epistemology, methodology, okay, method and sources togetherly. So again, my appeal to, the research community and the academic community, if you want to be a good researcher, okay, sometimes we should spend time, okay, in a kitchen, okay, sometimes we should go in a field, and, observe the people, how they are cooked, how they served, okay. So you are basically exposure to a hotel industry, you're exposure to a temple, you're exposure to, common fooding pattern will make us a good researcher and will make us a good observer. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, furthermore, okay, I am going to offer you, okay, different kinds of the practical tips, okay, or different kinds of, the things which as a researcher or as a guide or as a professor of one particular university, I came across that how sometimes my arrogance, बहुत बार मेरा अहंकार बीच में कैसे आता है, बहुत बार मेरा, इन्फ्लुएंस, मतलब बहुत बार I undermine myself, वो बीच बीच में कैसे मैंने मेरा नुकसान कर लिया है, ओके, एंड हाउ वेयर आई हैव devalued myself, okay, that certain things which where I failed. Today I am going to talk about my failure. But now before, moving towards, now furthermore, as a part of my presentation, I'm going to talk about basically, academic writing classically. So still so far, okay, if you are having any questions or any doubt, any comment, any other things, okay, because this online interaction has a one limitation that I can't read the faces. So whatever I am delivering, whether it is reaching to you or whether it is making sense to all of you, I am not having any kinds of the judgment. So you can use the chat box, okay? You can put a certain question. And if it is okay to all of you, then we can move ahead. But still from my side, I wish to, open up this discussion box for 2-3 minutes. If you are having any question, okay, you please put this question. So I will take that question, okay, in my adjourning part. Okay, Raster said good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon is not okay. Thank you for good afternoon. But if you're having any question, please use the chat box. Otherwise, I need to assume that whatever I'm going to talk, okay, it is going to make sense to all of you. Okay, it is understanding completely or it is not making sense at all. Okay, I have the both option. आपको पूरा समझ में आ रहा है, पूरा अच्छा लग रहा है, या उसका उल्टा आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. ओके, वाक्सर मेरी आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं आप लोग?
जी सर.
So
आपकी आवाज.
that is one feedback.
Yes, sir.
That is I am audible. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Is my speed is okay? Okay. Am I too fast or am I too slow?
No sir. No too fast or no too slow.
Okay. So I am going with your space. So you are intelligent. So you are the intelligent people. Okay. So whatever I am going to make, you people are adjusting with me. So you are a very kind and generous people. Fantastic. Okay, someone says that very good and something like that very clearly. Okay, fine. All right. Chalo. So now let me warn you people, with certain useful tips. What happened, as an academic community, as once you spend 5-6 years in academic or 7-8 years, you become little adamant or you become little arrogant. और हमको लगता है कि हमने जो लिख दिया है ना, that's the final one. So I wish to warn you all people by taking the examples of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar life. We all people are the admirers of the Indian Constitution, and that is the world's finest documentation. It is one of the the best constitution of the world, not only of the India. But what is the beauty of our Indian Constitution? Because Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar used to make, not 1 draft, 2 draft, 3 draft, 4 draft, 5 draft, okay. लेकिन डॉक्टर बाबा साहब जो भी कुछ लिखते थे ना, उसके 15, 16, 17 ड्राफ्ट बनते थे. So he used to finalize, his draft, okay, more than 15 times. तब उनका मतलब जो भी कुछ उनका ड्राफ्टिंग जो था, that is why, he was the chairperson, okay, of that excellent drafting skills. तो बाबा साहब मतलब बेवजह बाबा साहब नहीं बने हैं. बाबा साहब की जो तपश्चर्या है और मतलब उनका जो अनुग्रह हम सारे लोगों के ऊपर जो है, उनकी तपस्या में है. उनका एक डॉक्यूमेंट जो है वो 14-15 बार बनता था. तो मेरा आप सब लोगों से निवेदन है, क्या हम इतनी मेहनत लेते हैं क्या? ओके, तो इतनी मेहनत हम इसलिए नहीं ले पाते हैं क्योंकि हमने कभी प्लेटो नहीं पढ़ा है. ओके, प्लेटो ये अरिस्टोटल के शिष्य हुआ करते थे और प्लेटो हमेशा कहता है कि you still have to learn quite a lot about the object of your research. बहुत बार हमारा अहंकार ऐसा हो जाता है कि भाई I have interviewed 100 people, I have interviewed 150 people. Of course, number doesn't match with the quality of research. लेकिन हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमने जो लिखा है ना वो दुनिया का अंतिम सत्य है. Okay, and that is the major problem. Okay, we people are not ready for revision. We people are not ready for a rework. Okay, and probably recently we all people have been influenced by the movie. That is a 12th fail. आप बहुत लोगों ने झुलकार 9. Okay, you say that elaborate ethnographic research I will take later on. Okay, before I end I will elaborate that. Now let me focus on this part thing. Okay, I have taken up that question. It is registered in my mind. So Plato is saying that we always we need to be open for the new learning, and that new learning should make us a good researcher. So how to go with the scientific explanation or the social phenomena, how to verify the hypothesis, or how to write a research paper. Even though you have published 5 paper, 10 paper, 15 papers, okay, even the 10 books are your credit, but now the time has changed. Okay, after every 2-3 years, okay, new knowledge body or new things, okay, are coming up. When I started my academic career, okay, this computer was very much new to me. Okay, we all friends, just give me one minute, just 1 minute. Something I need to attend. Okay. You know, so we mm, so your 12th fail जो movie आता है ना, this is talking about the restart, restart and restart. Okay. So we all people have to, believe in that mantra to restart, okay, and again to reloop, again to revise. So all these kinds of the word, okay, which is begin with the R, that now should be that should be the mandate for our 2025. So as a, resolution for the research community, okay, please do remember that R. Now, please, remember the Weber. Okay, Weber is a very famous sociologist, and he said that never identify yourself, okay, with the object of the study. Okay, it means that you want to say that if suppose I belong to the scheduled caste community, and if my research, okay, is on the scheduled caste community, how I am going to maintain the, objectivity of the research, and that's why he's saying that, never identify yourself with the object of the your study. It means that you have to maintain, the external distances, okay, as a scientific, okay, and my primary concern, okay, should be the process of my part of the scientific discovery and the knowledge, which we talked previously, that the quality of the researcher, okay, is a, we discussed in our previous slide that scientificness, appropriateness, okay, the objectivity and other things. So this Plato and the Weber, okay, these are the fantastic things. Now here is one more thing is that, the writing and the thinking, these are the closely interlinked processes, or these are the interlinked business enterprises. If, why the people's writing became fuzzy, okay, because our thinking is a fuzzy, okay. हमारे सोचने में अगर कंफ्यूजन है तो राइटिंग में कंफ्यूजन आएगा. अगर हमारे सोचने की प्रक्रिया में अगर कुछ दिक्कतें हैं तो राइटिंग में दिक्कत ही आएगी. So that is why, a good researcher people, okay, they are always, basically making the structure of their article. Okay, they are making a good abstract, or they are making conceptual map of their writing, and then, they go for writing. And here I wish to give the examples, of the architecture community. आप सारे लोगों ने अपना अपना घर मकान बनवाया होगा, तो मुझे पूरा उम्मीद है कि आप लोगों ने बिल्डिंग बनवाने के बाद ये नहीं सोचा होगा कि अरे यार ये दीवार ना कुछ 4 फुट पहले हो गई या 4 फीट दूर हो गई, इसको हम थोड़ा हटा देते हैं, दरवाजे को बदल के यहाँ पर बदल देते हैं. We never do that, okay. We go to the architecture, we go to the, internal designer, we make, our layout, we make our plan, we make our design, okay. And then we go for the construction of the house, okay. In a similar order, as a researcher or as an academic community, we should emphasize basically on making conceptual plan. Okay, this is going to be my research title, this is going to be my methodology, this is going to be my objective, this is going to be way of my data collection, this is going to be my method tools, okay, and something like that. So that conceptual, mapping, okay, or making, the structure of the article will help out. रमेश कोळी सरांची कामं झाली का घरामधली? ओके, झाली, आपण असं समजूया. Okay, so my point was that, okay, if there is a, confusion in our mind, the confusion will reflect on a paper. Okay, so that was the point which I precisely make to all of you. So when people are facing, difficulties or translating their ideas into a world, okay, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है ना कि whenever you are रात को जब आप बेड पे सोए हुए हैं, okay, you are thinking too much. Okay, आपको लगता है कि अरे मेरा पहला पेज ये होगा, दूसरा पेज ये होगा, तीसरा पेज ये होगा, चौथा पेज ये होगा, and I have given word to Professor Jadhav, okay, that I will submit my article by coming Saturday. लेकिन फ्राइडे तक हमारा आर्टिकल केवल ख्यालू पुलाव में ही बनता रहता है. ओके, so how to stop with that, that khayalu pulav, okay, is basically focusing on the material. Okay, so good writer or good academic community, always basically, focusing on structurizing the things, okay, or articulating the things in a conceptual order or the way. I do hope that these are the certain insights from the life of the Plato, life of the Weber, okay, life of the many thinkers might have helpful. Next slide, please. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. ओके, अभी हमें क्या करना है ना, ओके, कि जब भी हम कोई लिखने के लिए जाते हैं, ओके, आपने वो कागज को लिख के कुछ समय के लिए थोड़ा सा बाजू रखना है. ओके, सपोज आई हैव रिटन माय ओन राइटअप because I am a columnist, okay, and I out of my 25 academic career, at least for more than 10 years, okay, I wrote a column for a different paper. तो मैं क्या करता था कि जब भी मेरा पीस ऑफ पेपर जो है, जब whenever I complete my writing, I used to keep a little aside. और मैं अपने आप को पूछता था कि क्या ये मेरा लिखना जरूरी है, क्या ये सेंटेंस जरूरी है, इज दिस वर्ड इज अप्रोप्रिएट, मुझे जो सही लगता है क्या लोगों को वही सही लगेगा क्या, समथिंग लाइक दैट. So once we are going to, finish our article, we must ask ourselves, okay, कि इसी चीज को मैं और आसान तरीके से और सरल तरीके से और कम से कम शब्दों में मैं कैसे लिख पाऊंगा. So that is the mantra or that is the warning. Many of the time, social science people, okay, or the people those who are fond of, two literally word, in Marathi we are calling as a Shabda Bombard communities, okay, that we are, using unnecessarily lot of words. देखिए, मतलब हमारे मराठी में ना तुकाराम जी एक बड़े संत है, ओके, रामदास करके बड़े संत है, नामदेव जी की वाणी का तो हम मतलब गुरु इसमें सिखों के पवित्र ग्रंथों में भी उसका सम्मिलन किया गया है. You please look at the literature or the poems of all our santa, okay, they are very clear, they are very simple, okay, and there is no more than 9 words, okay, in their text. मतलब let me talk just 1 minute for Marathi communities. तुम्ही तुकारामाचे अभंग घ्या किंवा नामदेवाचे अभंग घ्या किंवा बहिणाबाईच्या किंवा जनाबाईच्या ओव्या घ्या, तुम्हाला 9वा शब्द सापडत नाही त्याच्यामध्ये. असे चार 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 शब्दाचे मस्त असे हे आहेत, ओके, इवन द कबीराज दोहा, ओके, यू टेक ऑल दिस संत लिटरेचर, ओके, यू विल फाइंड दॅट हाउ इट इज व्हेरी व्हेरी क्लिअर, ओके, व्हेरी व्हेरी सिम्पल, ओके, अँड they are giving us a fantastic philosophy within that span word. Okay, why? Okay, because they are very much clear, okay, with their empirical thinking. Let me give one doha or one shloka, okay, from suppose Ramdas. What he said that लेकुरे उदंडे झाली, बापुडे भिक्षित लागली, लक्ष्मी निघून गेली, अन्न मिळेना खावया. Today in 21st century, we are talking about the population explosion, but because of the population explosion, there will be a poverty. Okay, this was elaborated, okay, Ramdas Swami, okay, in the 16th century. So you understand what are the effects of the population explosion, how it is going to to create a different kinds of the complexities in the life of the India as a nation. Okay, how that Santa, okay, which was Brahmachari himself, okay, how he was very very clear. You take all these basically shlokas of our Tukarama, okay, they are strongly advocate of environment, okay. दिसा माझी झाडे लावीत जावी, okay, Naneshwar talk, okay, Naneshwar talk about basically constructing about water, jalashay nirvavi, jalashay rasavi, okay, this was advocated by Sant Naneshwar, okay. Our Tukarama, he talk about Vrukshavalli ama sage soyare. Today in 21st century, okay, we are talking about the climate change, effect of the environmental degradation, and all my forefathers, okay, before 600, okay, all their written text, okay, the simple, clear, okay, in a simple word. तो हमें उस क्वालिटी तक जाने के लिए ना, ओके, हमें बार बार एक पॉज लेना है, जिसको हम कहते हैं POP, power of pause. Okay, so as a researcher, okay, don't tempt, okay, and don't be impatient in submitting your article. मतलब आर्टिकल 4 दिन में लिखना है और 8 दिन में एडिट करना है. दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल मंत्रा. हमारा प्रॉब्लम होता है कि हम लोग 8 दिन में आर्टिकल लिखते हैं और 1 दिन में सबमिट करता है। अभी इसको थोड़ा सा उल्टा करना है। मूविंग टू नेक्स्ट, ओके, दैट वी ऑल पीपल नीड टू बी अप्रेंटिस। ओके, बहुत बार हम लोग ना मतलब अलग अलग संस्थाओं में काम करने के लिए जाते हैं, तो वी गो एज अ ट्रेनी सोशल वर्कर, वी गो एज अ अप्रेंटिस। So sometimes, as a part of, even though you are a trained, you are a doctorate people, you are the professor community, you are a researcher communities, but for any new beginning, you have to treat yourself that you are a humble apprentice. Okay, although and many new things, okay, we all people need to learn to understand, so that humbleness, I told you, that because of my arrogancy or because of my overconfidence, okay, many of the article got rejected. Okay, but once we started revisiting it, okay, we started resubmitting it, we started reviewing it, okay, that article become the acceptable. बहुत बार हमें क्या लगता है ना कि वी आर राइटिंग फॉर our own communities. Okay, but we need to assume that, okay, any journal can be, referred by either the young researcher, either, the MA students, or either the undergraduate students. Okay, so many of the time, we all people need to understand that we are not, writing our own tribe people. Okay, our sociological tribe, anthropological tribe, epistemological tribe. Okay, we are not, writing for our, brothers and the sisters, okay, but we are writing for the general masses. So that is why we need to be clear, we need to be polite, we need to be understandable, okay, and of course without compromising with the standard of the academic. So we have to be very very clear in our academic writing. Next, sir, please. नाउ दिस इज गोइंग टू बी स्टेप 2। तो ये स्टेप 1 ठीक था क्या? सिंपल था, बड़ा थोड़ा मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही सटीक बोला, ओके, और मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बोला। आप लोगों को लगता होगा कि इतना सिंपल सिंपल बात सुनने के लिए हम थोड़ी रिसर्च मेथोलॉजी कोर्स में आए हैं, ओके। ऑल्दो दीज आर द वेरी सिंपल एंड दीज आर द वेरी स्मॉल थिंग्स, ओके, बट मेनी ऑफ द टाइम द स्मॉल एंड द सिंपल थिंग्स, ओके, वी आर फॉरगेटिंग इट। नाउ अभी हमें स्टेप 2 फॉरवर्ड ये करना है, ओके, कि वंस वी आर क्लियरिंग
Sir, you are not audible. I think network issue is there. Yes. Sir, unmute yourself.
ओके, काहीतरी रिस्टार्ट झालं, चांगली गोष्ट आहे. I talk about the restart. Okay, you made me to restart again. Okay, so while writing abstract, okay, we should ask ourselves, okay, that whether the things which I am going to communicate, or I am going to interpret phenomena, okay, whether that phenomena is actually exists, okay, whether it is really demanded by the people, okay, and this was written in 1987, okay, that in the abstract it needs hardly be said that before one proceed to explain or to interpret or to a phenomenon. So the things basically which Metron addresses in 84.7, okay, that it is advisable to establish if the phenomena is actually exist. Okay, so it means that if suppose today, if you people are going to write about the corona, probably no one will publish your article. Okay, because that phenomena now, it has gone from our social, political, economic life. Okay, as an impact, it would be there. Okay, so but we have crossed that phase. So before writing the abstract or writing a submission, we must be very very clear that phenomena is in existence. Now the very second important part, okay, we should focus on how is the first, okay, and why is the later on. So the in our description, okay, that how the things are happening in our society, Okay. And why these are happening? Okay. That should be, as a part of, a scientific movement of the literature. It means that we should not ever put cart before the horse. मतलब हमारा जो घोड़ा गाड़ी होता है ना, तो घोड़ा आगे होता है और टांगा पीछे होता है। तो जैसे घोड़ा गाड़ी में घोड़ा आगे और टांगा पीछे होता है, इन अ सेम वे ओके साइंटिफिक रिसर्च राइटिंग में हाउ हमेशा पहले पार्ट में आएगा। मतलब व्हाट इज बेसिकली changes are taking place in the society, we should address that part first, and how basically why these changes okay are happening taking place in a society, that should come in a second part. Now the third, the foundation, okay, that is a Latin word, but its English anuvad is that does that phenomena really exist? Okay, describe it accurately and be always ungenerous. Okay, so that's I already talk about that. Okay, we people are using a language very generously. ओके बोलते समय आप थोड़ा सा बोलते समय भी सावधानता परख नहीं होती है। शब्दों का प्रयोग हमेशा सावधानता से करना होता है। अच्छा वक्ता मतलब पहले सोचता है बाद में बोलता है, और कुछ वक्ता जो होते हैं पहले बोल जाते हैं और फिर 2-4 दिन उनको स्पष्टीकरण देने में ज्यादा सोचना पड़ता है। राइटिंग में भी हमको ना ये चीज, बिकॉज राइटिंग इट्स क्रिएटिंग लॉन्ग लास्टिंग इफेक्ट्स। ओके, so we need to be highly ungenerous, okay, in terms of writing. लिखते समय हमें शब्दों का, चीजों का, वाक् प्रचारों का, अंग्रेजी का, हिंदी का, whatever the language, whether you are writing in your native language, Marathi, Hindi, Urdu, English, whatever, okay, but we all people need to be very conducive, okay, generous, something like that. मतलब कबीरा कहते हैं ना कि पानी चबा चबा के पियो, तो वैसे लिखने की भी जो प्रक्रिया जो होती है उसको हमेशा समझ समझ कर हमको आगे बढ़ना पड़ता है। आगे सर, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। यस, नाउ हाउ टू राइट अ पेपर। ओके, यहाँ पर मैं आई विल स्पेंड 3-4 minutes। या तो टाइटल शुड बी वेरी शॉर्ट एंड वेरी एक्सप्लेनेटरी। मतलब हमारा रिसर्च का टाइटल जो होता है ना वो हमेशा short होना चाहिए। That is the difference between the Western research title and the Indian and the South Asian research title. You people will find that in Western research title they are highly elaborative, highly explanatory, but it is their tradition. At our tradition, okay, our research title, okay, should be very short, okay, and should be very explanatory. So we need not be brilliant or the witty, okay, that we are 100% sure, okay, that our title is going to convey the meaning at all. तो क्या होता है ना, मतलब इफ यू लुक एट योर ओन राइटअप और योर ओन रिसर्च, तो हमेशा जब भी आप अखबार पढ़ते हो, और इवन सपोज यू आर गोइंग थ्रू द जर्नल लाइक द इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल वीकली और सोशल एक्शन or even the Yojana Kurukshetra, okay, we often read the title or the mathada, okay, or the leading part first, okay, and if our attention title, then we go for main adding. बरोबर आहे ना वाक सर? आपलं पहिल्यांदा लक्ष बातमीच्या मथळ्याकडे जातं ना, शीर्षकाकडे जातं ना?
बरोबर आहे.
येस
Yeah.
येस येस येस. तर मला असं अधूनमधून माझी माणसं जागी आहेत झोपली आहेत तसं बघावं लागेल. ओके, so that is why as a researcher we should be very conscious, okay, and we should be very clear, okay, making our research title as simple, as explanatory, as short, okay, as very clear, okay, with our research title. Then in as a part of our introduction or as a part of our research writing, the rationale need to be very clear, okay, that why this research is needed. So it will contextualize our research. So बहुत बार क्या होता है ना कि people are borrowing 2-3 sentences, okay, and that they are adding into as a part of the introduction and the background. But the background, writing a background, okay, it is the context of your research. So context writing in a research, it's required a lot of practice. So without doing that kinds of the practice, you will not move towards the perfection. So you all people need to be take care of that. So, what kinds of the existing knowledge or the literature, surrounding over the topic, what other people have discussed these kinds of the scientific ideas earlierly, uh, how people, they are talking about these kinds of the existing phenomena, what is the problem which you people are right now addressing, something.
Sir, I think there is network issue. Again, you are not audible. Jadhav sir, unmute yourself. Sir, unmute yourself.
हे आमच्याकडून होत आहे का तिकडून होत आहे?
नाही, ते तुमच्याकडनंच होतंय.
ओ माय गॉड. बरं बरं.
नेटवर्क इश्यू मुळे होतं सर कधी कधी.
जी जी येस, बलिराम अवसर साहेब म्हणतात नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम. सो बलराम जी इज वेरी गुड इन इंजीनियरिंग एंड दिस काइंड ऑफ अदर थिंग. ऐसे पार्टिसिपेंट जब क्लास में होते हैं तो थोड़ा मजा आता है कि यार पीपल आर हाईली लर्नेड एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी माय दिस ऑडियंस. ओके, दे आर वेरी वेरी लर्नेड पीपल. तो अगला वाला स्लाइड आप देंगे सर जरा, एक मिनट.
ओके सर.
Yes. So firstly, we talk about the title, then we talk about the introduction. Now, before moving, the main either the theory or either the concept, okay, or either the debate, okay, or either the review of the literature. Here, we all people must warn ourselves that we should be the master of your topic. So whatever the the theoretical roots, okay, and the knowledge body which is themed around our article, okay, its conceptualization should be come from the the current front edge research. मतलब हमें अच्छा आर्टिकल प्रोड्यूस करने से पहले हमें अच्छा रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर भी करना है, एंड अ गुड substantial and sufficient review of literature always help us to make our article highly contemporary, relevant. Okay, so that will basically help all of us, okay, to reconstruct our article. So our research work, has to be theoretically driven. And that is a drawback with we all people, whether you are from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, okay, or basically from India, all over. That many of the Indian articles, okay, they are lacking in, a theoretical orientation. So, we should put our article, a proper theoretical framework. So that is very, very much demanded. So what the concept which we are defining, okay, what are the its research hypotheses, what are, the empirical findings, okay, what other all things like that. So the theory and the theories, must be clearly specified. Concept, have to be unambiguous. Okay, it needs to be expressed as clear. Okay, literature and research results, okay, have to be clear and honestly presented and discussed. So whenever we talk about, academic writing, okay, as we are talking about the research title, as we are talking about the contextualization, as we are talking about basically theories and the concept, the construction, okay, sound literature, okay. This make us, academic writing as a original. Yeah, people are easily understanding that, this is something, duplicate, this is something influenced, this is something, borrowed, like that, like that. Nowadays, people are very, very smart, and we are, open domain. So people are, easily finding out that even though you are using the AI tool, okay, but smart professor like us, okay, हमको तुरंत समझ में आ जाता है 7वें 8वें मिनट में किसको कहाँ से उठाया गया है. Okay, next please. Next please. Yeah, yeah. Does it make sense to all of you? Now, अभी इस स्लाइड को मतलब दिस इज समथिंग टेक्निकल चीजें आपको बोलने से पहले मैं ये जो पिछले जो 2 स्लाइड थे इसके बारे में कुछ सवाल है. विजय जी, कपिल जी, प्रियंका जी, संगीता जी, ओके, बनकर साहेब, देवानंद जी, शिवानंद जी, दीपमाला तिवारी जी, ओके, आनंद भालेराव जी, ओके, लक्ष्मी जी, या
Sir, they can't unmute their self.
हो ओके ना, स्वप्निल इज सेइंग दैट ऑल क्लियर सर, बनकर से इज सेइंग दैट यस सर। अच्छा अच्छा, आप लोगों ने मतलब सब चाबियां अपने पास रखी है इन लोगों के ताले की। ओके, सो नाइदर यू आर अलाउइंग देम टू
That's
स्पीक।
only reason, sir. Don't be get disturbance.
अच्छा,
That's
कोई बात नहीं, थैंक यू, कोई बात नहीं। ओके, नाउ अभी हम ना आने वाले 10 मिनट में और एक 3-4 स्लाइड पूरा करेंगे। ओके, या नरेंद्र इज आस्किंग देयर इज एनी वर्ड लिमिट फॉर अ टॉपिक सर। मतलब जो सवाल मुझे समझ में आया है, ओके, अगर रिसर्च टाइटल के बारे में अगर आप पूछ रहे हो, आई वुड सजेस्ट योर रिसर्च टाइटल शुड बी लेस देन 10 वर्ड। अगर आप मुझे एब्स्ट्रैक्ट के बारे में बोल रहे हो तो मैं कहूंगा कि इट शुड बी विद इन द 75 वर्ड। And if you're talking about the length of the article, so it is varies, as per the different journal. Matlab some few journals are asking, suppose take the examples of the Economic and Political Weekly. In Economic and Political Weekly, we are having a different section. So if suppose you are writing a perspective, for the perspective, it is a 7,500. If you're talking about the discussion, it gives the 5,000 words. If you're talking about commentary, it gives you 2,000 words. So it is depending upon, the sections or the segment, given by the particular research. Now, how to, define the research question? बहुत बार क्या होता है ना कि एज ए रिसर्चर, एज ए एकेडमिक कम्युनिटी, ओके, वी आर सेइंग दैट आई वांट टू लर्न अबाउट द दलाई लामा, इजंट इट? ओके, व्हेन वी से, अच्छा, पल्लवी सेइंग दैट कि रिसर्च, सर लिटरेचर रिव्यू कौन से इंक्लूड करने चाहिए, वो प्रॉब्लमेटिक होता है, व्हाट शुड बी केप इन माइंड बिफोर चूजिंग द रिव्यू पेपर। ओके, रिव्यू, अच्छा रिव्यू पेपर करने के लिए ना द बेस्ट, यू शुड बी इन सर्च स्ट्रैटेजी। तो क्या होता है कि वॉट एवर योर सर्च इंजिन आर, यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर विद द कीवर्ड्स। तो कीवर्ड डालने से किसी भी सर्च इंजिन में, वेदर इट इज द सर्च इंजिन ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल वीकली होने दो, या फिर सेमिनार होने दो, या फिर साईफाई होने दो, आजकल बहुत मतलब सारे एकेडमिक, मतलब वी हैव बिकम द ग्लोबल, तो यू शुड बी क्लियर वर्ड। तो यू हाईलाइट अ सर्टन, download 50 research article. You just read an abstract, and while reading the abstract, you can delimit, 10, 15, 20, and you just read only either 20 or either 25 articles. तो बहुत बार क्या होता है ना, अच्छा थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ने से हमें आइडिया आ जाता है कि हमें किसके ऊपर फोकस करना चाहिए। ओके, अभी देखो गलतियां कहाँ पे होती है। ओके, एज ए रिसर्चर आई एम पुटिंग दैट आई वांट टू लर्न अबाउट द दलाई लामा। तो हमें लगता है कि अरे हम दलाई लामा जी की जीवनी का अभी हम लोग अभ्यास करने जा रहे हैं, हमको बड़ा अच्छा रोमांटिक लगता है। तो इट इज नॉट अ गुड रिसर्च क्वेश्चन। ओके, वी नीड टू बी more specific, and we need to be more appropriate. So how to put this question? We should put the question in this way: I want to know what the role Dalai Lama play as a spiritual leader of the Tibetan people. Okay, मतलब राइट वाला अच्छा लग रहा है या लेफ्ट वाला अच्छा लग रहा है? तो लेफ्ट वाला काफी जेनरिक है, और राइट वाला जो है वो काफी स्पेसिफिक है कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द द लाइफ एंड द वर्क ऑफ द दलाई लामा। तो द राइट पोर्शन, ओके, वो जो राइट साइड वाले जो क्वेश्चन जो है ना, वो हमें ज्यादा फोकस्ड और ज्यादा स्पेसिफिक बनाते हैं। लेट अस टेक द एग्जांपल that I want to learn about the music, I want to learn about the Hindi cinema, I want to learn about fala literature. Very 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 generic. Okay, we should frame our question. We should frame our question that I want to learn about what kinds of the social phenomena influence the music of the 50s or the 60s or the 70s and the 90s. Okay, मतलब हर कलाकार का जो एक पर्टिकुलर दौर जो होता है ना, we should focus on that. Then it's suppose I want to learn about the AIDS. Okay, it is not a good question. Okay, it should be I want to study the processes of the transmission of the AIDS in either to a blood transfusion, either to a sexual culture, either to interrelationship. Okay, and something like that. So you people might have understood कि बहुत बार जो हम जेनरिक लिखते हैं और जो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है, वो रिसर्च जर्नल को या फिर एकेडमिक कम्युनिटी को, वो उनके लिए वो जेनरिक अच्छा नहीं होता है। ओके, दे वांट बेसिकली a specific thing. So we need to be focused, we need to be pinpointed, we need to be sharp, and we need to be very very diligent. तो मैंने पहले स्लाइड में बोला था कि हमें जनरसली नहीं लिखना है, हमें अनजनरसली, मतलब हमें बड़ा ही कैलकुलेटिव, बड़ा ही सेंसिटिवली लिखना है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. यो ओके. अभी व्हाट इज रिसर्च? बेसिकली रिसर्च क्या होता है? ओके, तो रिसर्च ये होता है, वो एक्सप्लेनेशन एक्सपेरिमेंट का रिलेशनशिप होता है. इसका मतलब ये होता है कि एनी रिसर्च बेसिकली इज इलेबोरेटिंग द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द मैक्रो माइक्रो ओके लिंकेजेस. मतलब समाज में एक सच्चाई होती है, सपोज मैक्रो कंडीशन, ओके, और उसका एक इफेक्ट होता है जो हमेशा मैक्रो में होता है. सपोज जीएसटी ओके इज अ मैक्रो कंडीशन, क्योंकि जीएसटी के जो डिसीजन जो है वो दिल्ली में लिए जाते हैं. बट द डे टू डे स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स ओके, और हमारी जो लोकल इंडस्ट्रियल कम्युनिटीज है या फिर एंटरप्रेन्योर कम्युनिटीज है, जो आपके जालना, यवतमाल या औरंगाबाद और संभाजीनगर इस शहरों में जो बैठी है ना, दे गॉट इफेक्टेड. तो समाज में क्या है कि एक मैक्रो कंडीशन का जो इफेक्ट है उसका हमेशा मैक्रो लेवल पे भी आता है और माइक्रो लेवल पे भी जो आता है. सो इट इज बेसिकली वाइस वर्सा कनेक्शन. मैक्रो पॉलिसी डिसीजन का जो इफेक्ट है वो माइक्रो कंडीशन के ऊपर होता है, और माइक्रो कंडीशन का जो इफेक्ट होता है वो हमेशा मैक्रो चीजों के ऊपर होता है. जैसे कि सपोज एमएसपी ओके, कि मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस ओके, किसानों को मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस नहीं मिलता है, इसलिए लोग अभी जाके अनशन के ऊपर बैठे हैं. तो इट्स अ कनेक्शन. तो हमें क्या करना है कि जो मैक्रो कंडीशन जो है ना, उसके आधार पर हमें कुछ हाइपोथेसिस फ्रेम करने हैं, फिर हमें धरातल पर जाना है, माइक्रो कंडीशन का अध्ययन करना है, फिर हमें माइक्रो लेवल पे वो चीजें क्या हो रही है वो थेराइज करनी है, उसका माइक्रो इफेक्ट क्या हो सकता है वहां पर आना है, उसके कुछ एग्रीगेशन हमें रूल बनाने हैं, और उसके मैक्रो इफेक्ट क्या हो सकते हैं ये हमें हमारे आर्टिकल में दिखाना होता है. तो एनी रिसर्च आर्टिकल जो है ना, ये जो देर आर दिस काइंड ऑफ द 7 फिनोमिना ओके, ये 7 फिनोमिनो में हमारा आर्टिकल जो है ना इस प्रकार से, whatever, whether you are writing a book, whether you are writing research article, whether you are writing producing the ethnographic report and something like that. तो हमें हमेशा ये मैक्रो कंडीशन एंड द मैक्रो इफेक्ट, माइक्रो कंडीशन एंड विद द मैक्रो इफेक्ट, ये जो मैक्रो माइक्रो एंड मैक्रो लिंकेजेस जो है ना, वो हमारे रिसर्च आर्टिकल में या हमारे एकेडमिक राइटिंग में हमें दिखने चाहिए. आई होप दिस मेक सेंस टू यू ऑल ऑफ इट. लेट्स मूव अहेड. लेट्स मूव अहेड. Okay. Now, here I will move little fast. How to proceed when writing something, whether you are writing research proposal, paper, article, or the thesis. Okay. Please develop, the theory-based framework. Okay. Write about a model. Never says that, no one has overlooked at this. I am the only one person. Never says that this is very, very interesting. Never talk that, at the level of the methods. Okay. See that you are the first person. Okay. Those who are only introducing this variable measures and the factor. Okay, do not write the papers, okay, for your academic tribe. Okay, better to write, for the wider scientific communities. You should study the totality, motivated by your introduction. Okay. बहुत सारे लोग जो है ना, most the people accept or reject the paper, okay, in just first 5 pages and then look at the evidences, okay, in confirmative manner. मतलब बहुत बार आपका आर्टिकल जो है ना, पहले 4-5 पेजेस पढ़ने में जो हमारे जैसे एकेडमिक कम्युनिटीज को हार्डली 5 या 7-8 मिनट लगते हैं, वो डिसीजन वहां पे हो जाता है. तो द बेस्ट मंत्रा इज एडिट, एडिट एडिट फॉर दैट, that we should focus on that. Yeah, next slide please. I will be little fast now. Within, yeah, summary once again. आगे जाओ. We should be very clear with the purpose of academic writing. Okay, whether it is coming out of academics or whether it is a commit of out of arrogance. मतलब मुझे मेरा कैश पेंडिंग है इसलिए मैं एकेडमिक लिटरेचर प्रोड्यूस कर रहा हूँ, और whether I am doing academics for academics. Okay, if I am doing academics for the academics, knowledge create होगा. और अगर if there are the economic motive, if there are administrative motive, or if there are some political motive, ओके, उससे अच्छा लिटरेचर या अच्छा राइटअप कभी नहीं आएगा. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. या please understand, okay, any good writer article, okay, in social sciences that that always, amalgamate with dialectics, okay, it always, undergo with the multiple and competing ideas, and it is always the fight between the idea versus the data, okay. तो आपकी आइडिया कितनी भी सर, हाँ कोई बात नहीं, लेट इट बी, रहने दो वैसा ही. देखिए, बेसिकली, researcher, always talk about the idea, and publisher, always talk about the data. So we have to be, focus, much more on the data rather than the idea. Okay, अगर आपकी आइडिया अच्छी है तो उसका बिजनेस करो. ओके, अच्छा आइडिया से अच्छा आर्टिकल नहीं आएगा, अच्छा आर्टिकल अच्छे डेटा से ही आएगा. ओके, so data is a basically a concept, data is a basically theoretical orientation, data is your review of literature. Okay, so more focus on the basically a qualitative data and less focus on the idea. Idea से केवल रिसर्च की शुरुआत हो सकती है, but if you continue with the idea, research will die. Okay, research is not storytelling. Okay, storytelling is the other thing. Yeah, so select a good topic. अगर आपको एक अच्छा आर्टिकल लिखना है ना, या किसी ने सवाल पूछा था कि मतलब हाउ मेनी रिव्यूज एंड हाउ मेनी कीवर्ड्स. ओके, तो हमें क्या क्या करना है ना कि एज ए रिसर्चर, ओके, इफ सपोज you want to do something work on a water. Okay, suppose water is your broad theme, and again suppose community water based management is another narrowed down topic. Then you please identify the authors of that particular theme. जैसे कि वाटर के ऊपर वैद्यनाथन जी का अच्छा काम है, तुषार शाह जी का काम है, या के जॉय का अच्छा काम है. तो यू प्लीज फाइंड आउट दैट हु आर द लीडिंग ऑथर्स of that particular topic, and you please identify, what are the international journals or the reputed journals they are talking about one particular topic, and high quality, of the authors. एक बार ये चीज मतलब ये ओवरव्यू हमारा क्लियर हो जाता है ना, देन फिर हमारा आगे का काम बड़ा आसान हो जाता है. देन वी कैन रीड, एंड कोट इंटरनेशनल जर्नल एज अ थेरी रिपुटेशन. ओके, एंड क्योंकि ये सारे जो अच्छे इंटरनेशनल जर्नल जो है ना, देयर पीयर रिव्यूइंग जो सिस्टम जो होता है वो बड़ा स्ट्रांग होता है, एंड वी नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर दैट. So, why the rejection rate is higher, okay, in academic community? Because we are not conscious about that selection of the topic. We are not conscious about that who are the leading author. हमें लगता है कि मैं जो लिख रहा हूँ वो दुनिया में सबसे का अच्छा नहीं है. But no, okay, there are many people, okay, those who are writing far qualitative, a good article than us. Yeah, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, much more focus on the sir, previous. हाँ, title of the research paper. Okay, you should focus. मतलब अपना title कैसा होना चाहिए? Okay, very clear. That discourse of the development. Okay, politics of development in India. Okay, if you are talking about, something about the discourse of development, okay, and the politics of development in India, okay, that will give you something very clear idea. What is the core argument of your paper. ओके, कि हमारा रिसर्च, ये देखो किसी ने मुझे पूछा था कि टाइटल में कितने शब्द होने चाहिए, तो आपको देखेगा कि यहाँ पर ना इस टाइटल में केवल 8 शब्द है. देयर आर ओनली 8 वर्ड्स, ओके, इन दिस रिसर्च टाइटल. ओके, एंड विद द वन सेमीकोलन. तो बहुत कम शब्दों में अच्छा अर्थ प्रवाहित करने की क्षमता हम लोगों में होनी चाहिए. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. Yeah, then focus on the methodology. Okay, and methodology is always depending upon the your study or your topic. Okay, whether it is a qualitative or whether it is a quantitative. Without touching upon the methodology, okay, and its scientific and appropriateness, we should not move ahead. Next slide, please. यस, कोर आर्गुमेंट. हमारा आर्टिकल में जो भी कुछ कोर आर्गुमेंट जो है ना, ओके, इट मस्ट बी इंपोर्टेंट, इट मस्ट बी रिलेवेंट, ओके, एंड इट मस्ट बी बेस्ड अपॉन द रिसेंट लिटरेचर एंड द डेटा. तो हमारी जो कोर आर्गुमेंट जो है ना, इट शुड नॉट बी आउटडेटेड. If suppose today I am talking about the socialism, if I am talking about the communalism, I am talking about XYZ phenomena, okay, so it should be important now. ओके, मतलब समाज में प्रचलित चीजों में, कॉन्टेम्पररी चीजों में क्या हो रहा है, इट शुड साउंड इम्पोर्टेंट टू देम। ओके, आउटडेटेड चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए। अपनी शिक्षा व्यवस्था का प्रॉब्लम ये है ना कि हम लोग 19वीं सदी का सिलेबस 20वीं सदी के लोग 21वीं सदी के लोगों को पढ़ा रहे हैं। तो देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ colonial hangover on our mind. ओके, तो हमें 21वीं सदी के लोगों को पढ़ाने के लिए 21वीं सदी का सिलेबस ही होना चाहिए और 21वीं सदी की सोची होना चाहिए। ओके, दैट इज बेसिकली a core argument. We need to be important to a people. We need to be relevant to a people, and recent literature and the data, okay, should be used in our research article. Next, please. Yeah, then we should be understand the diversified and the balanced references. बहुत बार हम लोग क्या करते हैं ना, हम हमारे दोस्ती के शिकार हो जाते हैं। हमारा दोस्त बोलता है कि अरे भाई मुझे मेरा साइटेशन बढ़ाना है तो आप मेरे आर्टिकल को साइट कर दो। नो, वी शुड नॉट डू दैट। ओके, इफ इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट we should entertain, okay, not specific a particular country scholars, okay, but our referencing system जो है वो हमेशा बैलेंस एंड डाइवर्सिफाइड होनी चाहिए। ठीक है। I am, the way someone has introduced me, that I am an associate editor of one journal. I am on the 2-3 different editorial board member. Okay. I normally, go with the bibliography. मतलब मैं बहुत बार आर्टिकल की जो रेफरेंसिंग है, जो बिब्लियोग्राफी है, उसको पढ़ता हूँ और वो पढ़ने के बाद मुझे समझ में आता है, ओके, कि व्हाट काइंड्स ऑफ द आर्टिकल, ओके, दिस इज। So your referencing, should be the balanced one. It should be diversified. It should reflect that, you are referring the South Asia level literature. You are respecting all kinds of the gender and the orientation, something like that. So I talk about equal representation of a gender. बहुत बार क्या होता है ना कि we as a male, we are gender blind people. Okay, so as a type, if you want to, make a very holistic, integrative, balanced article, मतलब किसी ने पूछा था ना कि कितने रेफरेंसेस होने चाहिए और उसको कैसे शॉर्टलिस्ट करना है, तो उसमें जेंडर का भी अच्छा प्रोपोर्शन होना चाहिए। लैंग्वेज नीड टू बी नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी। ओके, लैंग्वेज शुड बी ऑलवेज इवॉल्विंग प्रोसेस एंड अप्रोप्रिएट यूज ऑफ द वर्ड्स। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। नेक्स्ट प्लीज। या, तो हमारा कंक्लूजन जो है ना वो भी अच्छा होना चाहिए। एंड this is my last slide now, and here I will request Vaksar, okay, to open for the discussion. एक तो क्या है ना कि हमारे मल्टीपल ड्राफ्ट होने चाहिए कि भाई मैं तो डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर के बाद मैं ही विद्वान हूँ, हमारा ये रवैया नहीं होना चाहिए। ओके, डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर यूज्ड टू फॉलो मल्टीपल ड्राफ्ट, तो हमारे एक ही रिसर्च आर्टिकल के हमेशा पहला ड्राफ्ट, सेकंड ड्राफ्ट, थर्ड ड्राफ्ट, फोर्थ ड्राफ्ट, ऐसे ड्राफ्ट होने चाहिए। एंड लेट मी गिव यू माई पर्सनल एनेक्डोट, मतलब मैं खुद की तारीफ नहीं कर रहा हूँ। ओके, आई सिंपली विश टू टॉक अबाउट माई रिसर्च पीपल। इन ऑर्डर टू मेक माई रिसर्च कम्युनिटी अंडरस्टूड, उनके रिसर्च आर्टिकल का पहला ड्राफ्ट हम लोग सेव करके रखते थे और आखिरी ड्राफ्ट भी जो है उनको दिखाते थे। एंड वी यूज टू शोइंग देम जर्नी ऑफ देयर आर्टिकल, and they understand the progress of their article. Then deal with the paper section wise, हमेशा पेपर के सेक्शन बनाने चाहिए। और सपोज आपके पेपर में सपोज आपका एक 8 पेज का एक आपका आर्टिकल है, तो यू प्लीज मेक डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ द सेक्शन, और हमेशा ना सेक्शन को इक्वली प्रोपोर्शनेट की जाइए। मतलब आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि बहुत बार कुछ लोगों का इंट्रोडक्शन बहुत लंबा होता है, मेथोडोलॉजी बहुत छोटा होता है, डिस्कशन बहुत छोटा होता है, फाइंडिंग उसमें से भी छोटा होता है। इट्स नॉट अ गुड फेनोमेना ऑफ राइटिंग। ओके, you have to focus on arranging a different section very very thematically, and you should arrange a different kinds of the theme। तो आप थोड़ा सा वर्ड लिमिट का ध्यान रखा करो। ओके, रिव्यूअर जो है ना हमेशा अपना आर्टिकल, सपोज वाक्सर हमारे प्रिंसिपल है, तो इन्होंने भले वो प्रिंसिपल है लेकिन उन्होंने उनका आर्टिकल जो भी कुछ लिखा है अपने 2-4 कलीग को बोलना चाहिए कि अरे भाई आप थोड़ा इसको पढ़ो, व्हाट आर योर व्यूज ओवर इट। Even many of the time I circulating my write up to my student community, because I am writing for them. I collect their insight, I collect their impression. Okay, if they found it very simple and very understandable, then I go ahead। मैं बड़े लोगों को नहीं दिखाता हूँ, मतलब उनका भी मैं सम्मान करता हूँ, उनको भी दिखाता हूँ। ओके, लेकिन हम मतलब क्रॉस वेरीफाइड, एक बड़े प्रोफेसर को दिखाओ, एक यंग प्रोफेशनल को दिखाओ, स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी को दिखाओ। So we should have मल्टी लेयर्ड रिव्यू सिस्टम, and we have to believe in that। डू बिलीव इन मेकिंग योर एकेडमिक कैलेंडर। बहुत बार हम लोगों का क्या होता है ना कि वी आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द डेडलाइन। मतलब बहुत बार मतलब आता है, देयर आर मेनी रिसर्च जर्नल एंड दे आर रिक्वेस्टिंग अस कि द डेडलाइन ऑफ योर आर्टिकल सबमिशन इन 15 फरवरी। तो हमारी नींद 5 फरवरी तक खुलते नहीं, 10 फरवरी तक हम तैयार होते नहीं, फिर 11 फरवरी को हमको लगता है कि मैंने कुछ देना चाहिए, और फिर 14 फरवरी की रात को 11:59 पर हम हमारा आर्टिकल सबमिट कर डालते हो। तो हाउ दैट आर्टिकल विल बी अ क्वालिटेटिव आर्टिकल? So you have to make your calendar. If today is the 8th of January and my article submission okay is on 8 February, तो आज मैं टाइटल फाइनल करूंगा, कल मैं मेथोडोलॉजी फाइनल करूंगा, परसों मैं उसका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट फाइनल करूंगा। ओके, एंड द बेस्ट वे ऑफ अ गुड एकेडमिक राइटिंग, आप हमेशा रोज सोने से पहले यू जस्ट राइट ओनली 50 वर्ड्स। रात को सोने से पहले 50 शब्दों को लिखना है, और सुबह उठ के कल रात को हमने क्या लिखा था उसको एडिट करना है। रात को फिर से 50 शब्द उसमें जोड़ने हैं, और नेक्स्ट सुबह आपको अगेन 100 आर्टिकल मतलब ये करने हैं। अगर इस प्रकार से अगर 1 जनवरी को या 10 जनवरी को आप एक कोई भी थीम या कोई भी टाइटल निश्चित करते हो, और केवल 30 दिन आप अपने आर्टिकल के ऊपर काम करते हो, दिस इज माय गारंटी, बाय द एंड ऑफ 30 days ओके यू विल प्रोड्यूस ओके a good research article, a good research, a chapter, a good small monograph. तो सिंपल रामदास स्वामी ने बोला है ना, दिशा माझी लिहित जावे, दिशा माझी वाचित जावे। ओके, तो रोज अगर आप मास्टर लेवल के स्टूडेंट हो तो आपने रोज 25 पेजेस पढ़ना चाहिए। अगर आप पीएचडी स्कॉलर हो तो आपने 75 पेजेस पढ़ने चाहिए, एंड इंक्लूडिंग माय टीचर कम्युनिटी, वाक्सर एंड अदर कम्युनिटी। टीचर हैज टू रीड एवरी डे 100 पेजेस। बनकर सर, आप और हम लोगों ने ना एवरी डे एज ए टीचर हमने 100 पेजेस पढ़ने चाहिए। ओके, आप देखेंगे कि अगर आप एवरी डे यू रीडिंग 100 पेजेस, तो कम से कम आप 50 पढ़ोगे, देन योर लैंग्वेज विल इम्प्रूव, योर नॉलेज विल बी रिलेवेंट। फिर हम लोग कॉन्टेम्प्रेरी बड़े रिलेवेंट हो जाते हैं। ओके, एंड वी बिकम द वेरी वेरी इम्प्रेसिव पीपल। तो हमारे लास्ट, टू कंक्लूड माय टुडे सेशन, when I approached to my PhD supervisor that I want to do a research under your guidance, he said that PhD is not your business. I said, sir, why it is not my business? He said that because you are intellectual person. Okay, PhD is not the matter of intellectual people. Okay, so writing is not the matter, of the intellectual people, because intellectual people they are the impulsive people, they are the inconsistent people. Okay, और आप देखोगे कि हमेशा समाज में जो लोग हमें साधारण लगते हैं, ओके, अति विशिष्ट नहीं लगते हैं, हमेशा आम लोग बड़ा अच्छा लिटरेचर ये करते हैं, बिकॉज दे आर सिंपल एंड दे आर कंसिस्टेंट। ओके, तो हाथी बन, हमारे मराठी में कहावत है कि आप हाथी बनकर मतलब लकड़ियां मत तोड़ो। ओके, आप शक्कर मतलब आप चींटी बनकर ना छोटी 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 शक्कर के दाने जो है ना उसको इकट्ठा करो। इट इज ए एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द गुड रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर। आप रोज दो आर्टिकल पढ़ते जाओ, उसका अच्छा जेनेसिस बनाते जाओ। ओके, तो हर 30 दिन में अगर आप अच्छा आर्टिकल सबमिट करोगे, तो एक साल में 4 अच्छे आर्टिकल सबमिट होना और एक साल में 3 आर्टिकल पब्लिश होना, ये कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है। आप लोगों ने आमंत्रण दिया, आप लोगों ने बड़े धैर्य के साथ सुना। आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई मे मेक सेंस टू यू ऑल ऑफ यू। टुमारो आई विल बी वेरी वेरी प्रैक्टिकल, बिकॉज टुमारो सेशन इज गोइंग टू ऑन how to write research proposal, where I will be again theoretically and practically। कल मैं केवल 16-17 स्लाइड में आपका एक डेढ़ घंटे में आपको मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि मैं कुछ इसके ऊपर उसमें डालूं। नाउ इफ यू आर हैविंग एनी क्वेश्चंस, ओके, यू प्लीज पोज द क्वेश्चन। मुझे पता है कि एक एथनोग्राफिक के ऊपर एक सवाल था। ओके, या
Sir, they have permission now to unmute
यस
themselves.
यस यस यस। राधा मैडम बोल रहे थैंक यू। थैंक यू बोलने की बजाय सवाल पूछेंगे मैडम, तो आप और हम दोनों समृद्ध हो जाएंगे। नरेंद्र जी, थैंक यू नहीं बोलना है। ओके, हमको एक दूसरे को थोड़ा सा ये करना है कि व्हाट यू डोंट लाइक। ओके, आपके सवालों के जवाब हो सकता है कि मेरे पास नहीं होंगे, लेकिन मैं कल तैयारी करके आऊंगा। ओके, किसी ने मुझे पूछा था कि एथनोग्राफिक रिसर्च के लिए आई वुड प्रिस्क्राइब हिम, मैं दो किताबों का नाम आपको बोलता हूँ, तीन तीन बोलता हूँ। एक है द फील्ड वर्कर एंड द फील्ड, ओके, एक बहुत अच्छी किताब है जिसका काफी प्रभाव मेरे ऊपर है। इट इज एम एन श्रीनिवासन सर, जिन्होंने थ्योरी ऑफ संस्कृताइजेशन का परिष्करण किया था ना, ये पोस्ट ह्यूमस पब्लिकेशन है। और जहाँ पे 18 उनके जो स्कॉलर थे, उन्होंने एथनोग्राफिक रिसर्च कैसे किया, ओके, ऐसी वो 18 के स्टडीज का कंपाइलेशन है। इट इज पब्लिश्ड बाय द ऑक्सफर्ड। देन सेकंड किताब में ये कहूंगा, इसके एक ऑथर अमेरिकन है और एक ऑथर इंडियन है। अमेरिकन ऑथर है मिशेल कश्मीर एंड अपर्णा राव इज ए इंडियन ऑथर। एंड अगेन दिस इज ऑक्सफोर्ड पब्लिकेशन। और इस किताब का शायद टाइटल ये है नोमाडिज्म इन साउथ एशिया। ओके, इट मे नॉट बी नो यूर कप ऑफ टी, हो सकता है कि आप एंटी डीएनटी रिसर्चर नहीं होंगे, लेकिन ये किताब ना मतलब क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, ग्राउंडेड थ्योरी, फेनोमिनोलॉजी, ओके, एंड एथनोग्राफी का उपयोग कैसे किया जाता है। या अनिल साहब ने मुझे बोला, प्लीज रिपीट द नेम ऑफ द बुक वंस अगेन। थैंक यू सर। किताब का नाम है द फील्ड वर्कर एंड द फील्ड, ओके, एम एन श्रीनिवासन, ओके, एंड अदर। यस, मैं अजीता का मैं सवाल का जवाब देता हूँ 2 मिनट में। क्रेसवेल का भी आपको मिक्स मेथोडोलॉजी का पढ़ना है, और वो अपर्णा राव एंड मिशेल कश्मीर का बोला है। या अपर्णा जी ने मुझे सवाल पूछा था कि हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई रिसर्च गैप। गैप्स में बेटा 3-4 प्रकार के होते हैं। एक होता है सपोज नॉलेज गैप, एक होता है पॉपुलेशन गैप, एक होता है इंफॉर्मेशन गैप, एक होता है थ्योरेटिकल गैप। तो अगर आप वॉट एवर द रिसर्च टॉपिक विच वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरटेक, identify 25 different research articles. Some research might have very very successful conducted in South Asia, or suppose in South India. But if suppose you are from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or Rajasthan, or particularly from the North India, so it is the gap, okay, in the North India context. मतलब कुछ स्टडी जो है वो नॉर्दर्न कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हुई है, या साउथ एशिया कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हुई है, या ग्लोबल साउथ कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हुई है। तो यू प्लीज आइडेंटिफाई द कंसेप्चुअल गैप। कुछ स्टडी जो होती है ना, वो मेल पॉपुलेशन के बीच में हुई है, ओके, दैट दिस स्टडीज आर नॉट reviewed from the lens of the women or from the different gender, okay, so that is basically a gender gap, okay। तो इस प्रकार के आप इंफॉर्मेशन गैप, नॉलेज गैप, पॉपुलेशन गैप, ओके, कंसेप्चुअल गैप अगर आइडेंटिफाई करोगे, मतलब इस प्रकार से हमें वो गैप ढूंढने होते हैं। मतलब लोगों ने क्या किया है वो अच्छी बात है, लेकिन लोगों से क्या रहना, क्या करना बाकी रह गया है ना, जिसकी आवश्यकता थी, दैट इज रिसर्च गैप। ओके, एनीथिंग? यस, एनके सिंह साहब ने बोला है कि साइटेशन एंड रेफरेंस, ओके। मैं ऐसा करता हूँ, वाक सर के पास ना एक हमारे टीआईएसएस में प्रोफेसर थे, उनका ना एक छोटा सा किताब है 24 पेज का, उसका नाम है मैनुअल ऑफ स्टाइल, ओके, दिस बुक ऑल अबाउट द बेसिकली रेफरेंसेस एंड स्टाइल। मैं ये हमारे पास ये सर का व्हाट्सएप नंबर है, मैं उनके पास ये किताब पहुंचा देता हूँ, ओके, यू प्लीज सर्कुलेट अमंग ऑल द पीपल।
Right,
Good
sir.
afternoon,
यस,
sir.
यस, यस। हाँ,
Sir,
फिर
am
वो
I
आपको,
audible?
या यू आर ऑडिएबल, प्लीज
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for this session. I have one small doubt.
गो अहेड।
Sir, how to collect data on third gender people? I mean, I'm unable to choose the sampling method in gender studies or something. Can you please elaborate if it would be very helpful for me if you do so?
Yeah, but Pallavi, you categorically talking about the third gender, okay, how to identify, okay. I talk about the basically ethical neutrality, okay. If the people are not comfortable exposing themselves, okay, with their gender identity, okay, so how you identify them, and how you please make the census of them, because
Yes, sir.
people are listing themselves as a first gender and a second gender, either male and a female. Now, okay, we people are become little sensitive, and we started LGBTQR, okay, so that's a very sensitive issue, okay. If the people are comfortable, okay, then you should go with the snowball sampling.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
because that is the at present available solution, because अभी हमारे पास वैसी कोई लिस्ट रेडीली प्रोवाइड नहीं होती है, और होनी भी नहीं चाहिए।
Yes, sir. So basically वो I mean apt amount कितने samples collect करने हैं, क्या questions पूछ, मतलब question वो actually my PhD topic is on about third genders also.
Good, good, good. Okay. What type of research you are doing?
So third gender social inclusion and
No, no, no.
inclusivity.
I'm talking whether it is a qualitative research or quantitative research.
The qualitative research. Sir.
Okay, then 35 case studies is more than enough.
Sorry. So no.
I said that, I said 35, but I would suggest, 35 to 40 case studies, okay, more enough in qualitative research, even for PhD.
Okay, so I'm basically from sociology background. So my guide have said about 300 to 350 samples. So
See,
what should be
300
the
sample, okay, comes in a quantitative research. Okay, not
okay.
in qualitative research. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you're talking about a sample, this is a quantitative. Okay. You talk about the case study, it's about the qualitative research. But you can make the combination. Okay. लेकिन अगर if it is a combination, तो फिर 30 case studies नहीं होगा, वो केवल 10 ही होगा.
अच्छा, अच्छा.
Operationality is the one characteristics of a research ना. PhD करना है आपको, जिंदगी भर थोड़ी रिसर्च करना है.
Okay.
आपको 3 या 5 साल में काम करना है ना.
जी जी जी.
ओके, तो अच्छा सुपरवाइजर बोलता है कि आप इंटेलेक्चुअल मत बनो, आप कंसिस्टेंट बनो.
ठीक है
ओके.
सर.
बड़ा
ओके.
रिसर्च आप पहले पीएचडी कर लो और पूरा जिंदगी आप अपने आप को समर्पित कर डालो उस टॉपिक के लिए. यू डू पोस्ट डॉक एंड यू स्पेंड डिवोट योर लाइफ, रेस्ट ऑफ द लाइफ फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ रिसर्च. लेकिन पहले प्रैक्टिकली पीएचडी हासिल करो.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
गॉड ब्लेस. गॉड ब्लेस.
Dear participants, is there anyone? Sir, I think
नो
you
इश्यू
have
सर, नो नो
all
इश्यू. ओके.
problems.
ना, नो नो प्रॉब्लम. तो कल 10 बजे शुरू करना है ना सर हमें.
जी जी जी.
ओके, चलो इस बहाने से आप लोग मिलते हो, देखते हो, महाराष्ट्र से कनेक्ट होने का मौका मिलता है. आई एम ग्लैड. ओके, आई एम वेरी
10
वेरी
से
हैप्पी.
11:30 बजे तक सर पहला सेशन.
हाँ हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ. मैं 10 मिनट पहले ही आ जाऊंगा. और आज मैं ये सीखा हूँ. थैंक यू, यू पीपल हैव ओरिएंटेड मी जूम आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम. ये कोरोना के समय हम काफी सीखे थे लेकिन भूल गए थे. ओके, बिकॉज ऑफ यू अगेन आई रीओरिएंट माई सेल्फ. या, थैंक यू, थैंक यू. ओके.
With your permission, we'll
या
go
या या
conclude.
I too leaving the session. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sir, really thank you for your interactive and practical session. And I invite Dr. Purnima Sandane ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks for this session.
धन्यवाद सर. आवाज सुनाई दे रही है आपको?
जी जी जी.
हाँ सर. राष्ट्रीय स्तरीय रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी आज का तीसरा सेशन वर्कशॉप के अंतर्गत आदरणीय जगदीश जाधव सर ने एकेडमिक राइटिंग ये टॉपिक पर बहुत ही सहज और सरल भाषा से शोध के विविध अंगों को प्रस्तुत किया. सर आपको बहुत ही हमारे कॉलेज की तरफ से धन्यवाद, तहे दिल से धन्यवाद. सर आज का सेशन बहुत ही ज्ञानात्मक था. आपने बहुमूल्य समय देकर हमारे ज्ञान को बढ़ाया है. मैं आपके लिए एक दोहा कहना चाहती हूँ. रेसरी आवत जात नहीं, सिल पर होत निशान, जड़मती होत सुजान. मतलब आप जैसे ज्ञानी एक्सपर्ट मार्गदर्शक के कारण हमारे ज्ञान में बढ़ोतरी हो रही है. सभी सहभागी प्राध्यापक और शोध विद्यार्थी इसका लाभ उठा रहे हैं. मैं आपको गवाही देती हूँ आपके द्वारा ज्ञान का लाभ अपने कार्य क्षेत्र में सभी लोग जरूर करेंगे. आपको तहे दिल से धन्यवाद सर. अंत में मैं श्री सरस्वती समाज कार्य महाविद्यालय वासिम इनकी तरफ से राज्य के सभी सहभागी प्राध्यापक और विद्यार्थियों को तहे दिल से धन्यवाद देती हूँ. और उसके बाद अपने शब्दों को विराम देते हुए अगले प्रस्तुतिकरण के लिए एटी वाघ सर को ये मैं हैंड ओवर करती हूँ. धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, I heartily thanks to all participants for being here, and we will be right back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the